for me, Timber's the better football player.
Yeah,
like,
I think
just in terms of being able to play football, like higher ceiling in terms of techers.
Yeah.
That's Timber. Declan Rice wasn't the only new signing of the week, as we alluded to in the intro. We also completed the signing of Jurrien Timber. I'm here. I call him the right back, the centre back from Ajax.
The versatile defender.
The versatile defender. That's it. You know, he's someone that, you know, I've seen Declan Rice, and I'm buzzing to see him in an Arsenal shirt. But with Timber, this is someone that is almost, for the majority of fans, will be a bit of the unknown. Yet, from all accounts, this guy is a phenomenal player. Again, I put into a group chat yesterday, like, this guy's passes completed, everything was number one in Eredivisie from wherever he was playing. Like, and with that kind of ability, obviously not to say it's to translate to the Premier League. Premier League is obviously a lot faster, a lot more physical. But for me, now it's apparent that this guy was the Caicedo replacement, or Caicedo number 2.
Yeah, tell me more about that, though. Tell me more about that.
Because like, obviously we knew Rice was the primary target. Rice was 100 million. Then by the time, you know, again, January, we looked at Caicedo, 70 mil. They didn't really want to do it then. Brighton, that was. And Caicedo, for me, then started showing, because of injury and stuff in Brighton, a level of versatility. He played centre mid, he played right back, he played a bit of centre back, or whatever the case is for them. He's got it in his locker. Then towards the back end of the season as well, remember when Partey lost his place, to get back into his place, he was playing right back. He was doing the inverted thing from right back, and we know he's a centre midfielder. So when we went to sign Timber, I was like, okay, I've seen this guy a couple of times. I think he's good. Again, this is someone to come in and raise the level of the team and all that kind of stuff. Went looking a bit more closely at, you know, his positionally, like where he's going to fit in at Arsenal. I started seeing that he ticks the versatility boxes that we can clearly see Mikel loves. I said, this guy was their number 2 for Caicedo. Caicedo would have come in and played centre mid, but you know, if needed, like, it was an option at right back or something like that. Same way we thought Kivior was coming in to play centre back, to be the backup to Gabriel. Kivior's finding himself now as an option at left back. Because he can come in and play a bit. Like, Timber, I just think is going to play centre mid for Arsenal. I honestly don't even see him playing as a defender. I honestly don't even see it. Like, I think obviously there's, you know, you can bring him in as a right back for Ben White or substitution. I do think he will start his Arsenal career, quote unquote, off the bench.
Definitely.
Which I don't think is an issue. He's still a very young player, bags of potential and stuff. And especially if they do see him as a centre midfielder, like a deep line centre midfielder, he probably has to kind of learn and see just how the Premier League works and that. But I genuinely think they've brought him in as, of course, a versatile player that can play wherever we need him to a great standard. But maybe long term, let me say, at least, as a centre midfield option.
You know what? I can see it. I think even more so when you look at, again, where we start players is not where they end up. You know, even in the preseason, we saw Kivior was inverting. And so you pick up multiple positions throughout the game in this system. So it would seem. So, I mean, I think he's that versatile. You know what? If, you know, again, we get rid of certain players and stuff like that, he could easily slide into that 6 role. You know, I don't think that's beyond him. And same way, he could be playing right back and then be playing alongside Partey in the games where we're very ball dominant, you know, and then it's basically like he was a DM. He seems very comfortable on the ball in all areas. But I think the timing of it, for, you know, very much makes sense, because it was Caicedo, then we got that bomb that we dropped all interest. And then all of a sudden, the Timber information came out. So I don't know if this is another plan B.
It definitely is.
It's another plan B, which is just shown as, it's come out, and it's another masterstroke. And again, that list of players that we must have, you know, I mean, obviously it says something that they had Caicedo first, but for me, I think the only thing is probably the fact that Caicedo is Prem ready, in terms of, he knows the league and everything like that, where Timber, slower league, has to get adjusted, like you said, sit on the bench, gonna have to watch just, to kind of get up to speed, see what he's gonna have to be, how he's gonna have to be. But it's another plan B masterstroke is what you're making me realize, is that even regardless of where he plays, because of the fluidity of the system, he definitely came in as like the second option, and he looks brilliant. I mean, it'll be interesting to see where he picks up positions and things like that. But I mean, I think it's quite rare. How many times has Arteta, I think it's a bit hit and miss, because I'm thinking straight away to Sambi in terms of players that we've picked up outside the league and how they've adjusted. But yeah, I don't know. I just see a lot of quality. I see a lot of quality. I've watched the comps and stuff like that, and even these are comps when he's been playing in the Champions League, which I know is different in the way we play as well. But just generally, I think yeah, he's another one who I just think he's Ras is probably obviously still the most exciting signing, but he's like only a little bit underneath, because I think he's just going to raise the floor so much, and him coming in. Another player who's going to be able to control the ball. Again, I think he's going to be able to invert from the right. And yeah, I think he's going to be a big player for us, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's almost like, why spend 100 mil on Caicedo, and we don't really know if Caicedo is going to start, because we don't really know the future of Thomas Partey. I think that's probably still, needs to be outlined as to what's happening there. And if we're not too sure, then 100 mil, do we need to go all that distance for 100 mil for this guy, where we could spend 40 million on Timber? For me, Timber's the better football player.
Yeah,
like,
I think
just in terms of being able to play football, like higher ceiling in terms of techers, that's Timber. I think Caicedo, he's shown what he's about in the Premier League, and that gives him that advantage, and probably what gives him the 100 mil price tag as well. But yeah, I think we've just got a complete class act of a football player that's gonna really grow into this side. Right back is an option, centre back is an option, and to be honest, if Partey doesn't stay, I think he goes straight into centre mid. I think that's when we see him start as a starting centre midfield player, if Partey is on his way out, depending on how we line up. Obviously, we're still trying to work that out a bit, but yeah, I think his role at Arsenal is, one of these press resistant guys, great passer of the ball. Arteta doesn't like, he doesn't want his defenders like galloping out and dribbling and stuff like that. Someone that can pick up the ball, pass it, move it along, and I think that's what we've got here in Timber. And because there's the Rice, obviously, like I said, we know Rice somewhat. It was great to see him in an Arsenal shirt. This for me is very exciting to get Timber in here, and again, like you said, that the levels have raised.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming from an Ajax, education, and we know what them man are on, total football. Their philosophy don't change, so we know he's gonna have the tech, he's gonna have the football IQ, which is, absolutely perfect for us, because we play a system which relies on that sort of technique and calmness and composure. I can see it, man. I think I didn't really see the midfield thing. Like, I think I just saw it as like an inverting thing, but I mean, he's 5'10", he's not, I don't think it's not short. It's like, he can still put himself in and about there. I just think, I don't know. You know what? I just don't know. I think it's just going to be interesting just to see where these
But remember,
pick up positions.
if he is playing centre mid, he's going to be playing with a 6 foot plus Rice, with a 6 foot plus Havertz. Partey maybe even. So the emphasis isn't on him to be the destroyer and the tall man. He is literally like similar to maybe the Zinchenko that can step in and just do some bits and bobs in there. So yeah,
even Partey's not a destroyer. This is even Partey's not a destroyer. True. He's a deep line playmaker, really. Well, like, you know, defensive midfielder, but he's not like a, you know, come in there like a De Jong or a Gattuso that used to just come in and smash you. You know, he's getting the ball on the turn and he's picking out these passes and stuff. So yeah, I think he's in a similar mold. You know, I think the one thing I did see is that in comparison to Timber and Lisandro Martinez, who we were in for last season, is that Timber doesn't have the same like aggressiveness of like Martinez, which I think, again, I mean, you know, Arteta always wants that intensity from his players, but yeah, I think for that role that we're talking about, that potentially midfield or wherever, I think, you know, he does have that certain cover to or like that likeness to Partey. But now that you mentioned that, it just made me think, you know, oh, maybe the Lavia thing isn't going to happen anymore. Which I don't think that's happening. Yeah, not unless we get more movement anyway. But even then, I don't think that would be the kind of player that will be saying, "Oh yeah, this is the Partey replacement." You know, that would be irresponsible.
Yeah, I think he's probably going to Liverpool. But yeah, man, Timber, like, option off the bench for Ben White, I think would be great. Centre back could be good if we really become desperate, but I think, you know, centre back should be okay. Between at least Saliba, Gabriel, and Kivior there. Rice, even you probably put Rice centre back before Timber if you needed to, if you really needed to. But yeah, I just see the long-term future might possibly be centre mid. But yeah, we'll wait and see how it goes.